Trilogy 100 is easy to set up for home use. Begin by placing it on a hard, non-carpeted level surface. You can also place Trilogy on a stand or set it inside the optional in-use bag. Make sure that the air inlet port on the back of the device is not blocked and that air can flow freely around the unit. If the airflow is restricted, the ventilator may not work properly. Once Trilogy 100 is on a solid surface, you can start the setup by providing power. Trilogy can be powered by 4 different sources: AC power, an external battery, a detachable battery pack, and an internal battery. The device will always use AC power if available. When AC is not available, it will run on its external battery if connected. If the external battery loses its charge, Trilogy will run from the detachable battery pack. When no other power source is available, Trilogy will rely on its internal battery as a last source of power. Immediately seek an alternative power source when the low battery alarm occurs, because loss of therapy is about to occur. A manual resuscitator bag should be available for use just in case there is no power available. To use AC power, plug the socket end of the power cord into the AC power outlet on the right side of the device. Plug the pronged end into a wall outlet. The ventilator must be connected to a wall outlet that is not controlled by a switch. You'll know that the AC power is connected and the device is operating properly when the green AC power LED on the front of the unit is on. The ventilator can also be powered by an external 12-volt marine-type battery. One end of the Respironics DC battery cable is attached to the battery. Plug the other end into the external battery connector power inlet on the back of Trilogy. How long the battery will last depends on the battery and your device settings and usage. Trilogy 100 also features a detachable battery pack. When the device isn't connected to an AC source or an external battery, this will supply the power. Here on the back of the detachable battery, you can see a set of LEDs. Press the button below to see how much charge is left in the battery. When all the LEDs are lit, the battery is 80 to 100% full. Under typical conditions, a new fully charged detachable battery can power Trilogy 100 for about 3 hours. The detachable battery snaps easily back into place on the back of the ventilator. Trilogy 100 also has an internal battery, which can be used as a backup power source for shorter periods, so the ventilator stays on while you switch between external power sources or transport a patient. Under typical conditions, the internal battery can power Trilogy 100 for approximately 3 hours. When Trilogy 100 is connected to AC power, it will automatically recharge both the internal battery and the detachable battery pack. A completely discharged internal and detachable battery will take about 8 hours to recharge. The ventilator is designed to work with either a passive exhalation port or an active exhalation valve. An optional bacteria filter can be used with either type of valve. To set a passive circuit up, connect one end of the flexible tubing to the outlet of the optional bacteria filter. Insert the bacteria filter inlet to the breathing circuit connector on the side of the ventilator. If you aren't using the optional bacteria filter, attach the tubing directly to the breathing circuit connector. Connect the other end of the tubing to a mask with a built-in exhalation port. If connecting to a trach tube or a mask that does not have a built-in exhalation port, connect a Whisper Swivel 2 exhalation port to the end of the tubing. If you're using a passive system, your breathing circuit is complete. If you're using an active system, there are 2 additional lines to connect, and you will have a different exhalation valve. The proximal pressure line attaches to the top connection on the active porting block. The other end of the tubing is attached to the proximal pressure port on the T connector. The exhalation valve control line fits onto the bottom port. The other end is connected to the top of the exhalation valve. The active circuit is now connected. If the physician has prescribed supplemental oxygen, that port is here on the back of the device. Connect the oxygen tubing to an oxygen valve Quick Connect. Attach the Quick Connect to the oxygen valve inlet on the back of the ventilator. Make sure you press the oxygen valve Quick Connect firmly into the inlet. You should hear a click and see the tab at the top of the port pop up. Once Trilogy 100 is set up, you're ready to turn it on and interact with the screens.